Mazda's new large vehicle platform vehicles are beginning to hit the market. Europe is already seeing the CX-60 with a powerful plug-in hybrid setup, as well as other variants employing an all-new 3.3-liter turbo diesel engine. While North Americans won't see the cool new diesel engine, nor the new CX-60, we will be getting two all-new luxury-grade competing crossovers, the CX-70 and the CX-90. Surely we will be seeing the most powerful engine setup ever in a Mazda with the 2.5-liter plug-in hybrid with over 320 horsepower, 368 pound-feet of torque, and over 30 miles of EV range. However, many are holding out for the return of a Japanese-produced inline-six cylinder engine. Unfortunately, we may have been expecting just a little too much from Mazda and their upcoming inline-six engine. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're excited about Mazda's upcoming vehicles and new engines and powertrains, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe for more updates as we get them. I just want to say special thanks to Kindle Auto. You can check out his YouTube page as well as his Instagram page, because he has spied the all-new CX-90 SUV. So I'm going to be playing some of that B-roll for you guys in the background while we talk about the new engine that will go into that CX-90 as well as that CX-70. There's a lot of Mazda engine news going around. Over at Australian website Car Expert, they're expecting to lose a turbo engine for 2023. That's the 2.5-liter Skyactiv G Turbo. I just drove that in the Mazda CX-30 last week. I think that review will be going live today or yesterday. It's going to be soon. But the engine is an absolute peach. Sounds great. The torque is great. It builds power pretty well. It's not the most peaky thing, but it is an excellent engine, and we do miss it in the Mazda 6. Rest in peace, Mazda 6. We miss you. But of course, it's seen in a lot of other Mazda vehicles. But that doesn't mean it will be discontinued for America. Absolutely not. It's just that that engine is going to be discontinued more and more in other countries around the world. Unfortunately, it could be Australia to be the next victim that doesn't get this 2.5-liter turbo, which is an absolute peach. But also for Australia, we're over at Mazda's newsroom in Australia, and Mazda confirms hybrid-only powertrains for first ever CX-60. In Europe, we've seen diesels as well as plug-in hybrid. For Australia, diesel's big there too, but it looks like they're also getting the inline-six gasoline engine or petrol, depending on what part of the world you're in. It is going to be all new. We haven't seen it on any other mark yet in any other vehicle. They're saying that it's a high-powered turbocharged petrol unit, 3.3-liter capacity. I was hearing anywhere either 3-liter or 3.3. They've gone larger, so it's 3.3 to match the displacement of the diesel. It's delivering 209 kilowatts at 5,000 RPM and 450 Newton meters of torque from 2,000 to 3,500 RPM. Now, additionally, each powertrain employs rear-biased I-active all-wheel drive. It gets the new 8-speed Skyactiv automatic transmission, which utilizes a multi-plate clutch with an integrated electric motor generator for fast, responsive shifts and high efficiency. Because if we go up here, I missed this part. Two newly developed straight-six engines featuring M Hybrid Boost technology, Mazda's 48-volt mild hybrid system, and it will debut in the Mazda CX-60. So what is 209 kilowatts in horsepower, and what is 450 Newton meters of torque in pound-feet? Well, we're going over to my long-growing spreadsheet. This thing's been growing for years, I feel like. And this engine might not ever come out, which is the 3, well, I guess it would be a 3.3 at this point, which would be a Skyactiv X variant of the inline-six. Instead of using that Skyactiv X technology, which might be dead at this point, it looks like Mazda is going the route of mild hybrid to save those emissions. So what we have here is this 3.3-liter Skyactiv G inline-six turbo. Now, it is a 48-volt mild hybrid, 280 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers are very underwhelming. And the reason is we go to this engine right here. This is the current engine, under 93 octane, gets 250 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque on a 4-cylinder 2.5-liter. And if we added for the displacement, which is 32% more displacement, we would be getting numbers 330 horsepower and 422 pound-feet of torque would be the minimum, because that's not even adding a 48-volt assist with the electric motor there. So very unfortunate that we're getting 50 less horsepower about than what we were expecting based off the 2.5-liter Skyactiv G, and also an immense amount of torque drop compared to what we were expecting. Look, the 2.5-liter gets 320 pound-feet and 250 horsepower. This 3.3-liter, it's not providing anything more really, because then you're adding the weight of the batteries, you're adding the weight of the hybrid system. It's the only thing it's adding, in my perspective, from what I see, is maybe a smoother driving experience, maybe a little bit more balanced driving experience, and it will cut emissions to some degree over that 2.5-liter 4-cylinder turbo. To put it in perspective, I want to look at the best inline-six on the market, and that is BMW's B58. We see it in the Supra, but we also see it in a slew of 40i models. Pretty much any 40i has this turbo 6-cylinder in it. And it starts at 335 horsepower. The Supra has like 382 horsepower and tons of torque with this engine as well. And we're comparing the blue here to this kind of dark mustard color. With less displacement and no electrification, the BMW inline-sixes are able to easily get 55 more horsepower and over 30 more pound-feet of torque. This is almost unacceptable to me. Did I get my expectations too high? I don't think so, because these numbers are extrapolated from the 2.5-liter power to displacement ratio and torque to displacement ratio. And we're nowhere close to that, even with adding electrification to it. So time will tell. Maybe we get something juicy for here in North America, and I'm holding out for that, maybe unrealistically. But we need to look at this guy, and maybe the one point of hope for me is that this was trademarked by Mazda. We haven't seen this in any vehicle, but this is some sort of racing spec sort of badge that they're going to put on their cars, or have an upper tier for more performance-minded vehicles. So maybe the R for rotary, that's a potentiality because we have the triangle here. But I think that triangle in the R is probably more for racing, and the triangle is probably just an homage to the rotary engine past, the Wankel past for Mazda. So I'm holding out just a glimmer of hope, maybe unrealistic, that we get maybe a twin turbo V6 setup where we see easily these sort of numbers here from the Mazda inline-six. And then we're going to finish by just giving my thoughts on the CX-90. More than likely, the CX-90 is what we're looking at here. And no surprise, I mean, even the little indentation on the left-hand side, it looks like just a stretched, larger, wider CX-60. And that's not a bad thing. I think the CX-60 overall looks pretty good, especially from the back and the sides. The front end looks a little funky. Maybe it just takes some time for me to get used to. You can see those long sweeping taillights almost making a rear LED bar in the back for the brake lights, but you can just see how big this is going to be. I really enjoy the wheels here. I think they look pretty cool. They're probably 19s or 20s on this. And then you can see the headlight design is pretty much identical to what we see in the CX-60. And the grille design looks very, very similar as well. There's that piece. I'm going to pause. There's that little front fender piece that we see in the CX-60 that'll say plug-in hybrid or diesel or something like that. You see it doing a U-turn here. I was concerned watching this the first time. I'm like, it might not make that. It might not make it, but it did. Yeah, I mean, it's going to look cool. It gives me a little bit QX60 with that sloping roofline, maybe a little Range Rover Sport. So it definitely looks premium. Mazda is going to price these things as premium. They know that's where the money is. And that makes sense, especially as we go into a recession. The top-end products will hold on better because the people with money don't hurt for money nearly as much in a recession as the small guys. So anyways, I'm going to end it there. Are you excited for the inline-six? Are you disappointed? Are you okay? Would you still pick that inline-six if it was available here in America over the plug-in hybrid 4-cylinder? At this point in time, if those are the numbers for the inline-six, I would be picking the plug-in hybrid 4-cylinder every single time for the new upcoming Mazda rear-wheel drive bias platform. But I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said in the beginning, if you're excited, hit the like button and subscribe for upcoming Mazda news updates. You know we're going to get them fairly soon. The CX-90, CX-70, one of them will be available by the end of 2023, maybe both. Fingers crossed, highly doubted, but probably one of them by the end of 2023 of this new platform. Got to end it there. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves and peace out.